That's something we can actually
Hello,
get on board
Jamie.
with.
How are you?
I know to you I may look old. Hope this statement ain't too bold, but here comes the
Here comes the
judge.
judge. Oh, Judge Napolitano, how are you, my friend?
Jamie, I am well. How are you, dear friend?
I'm doing great, and I want to ask you about this Donald Duck thing, mainly because I'm trying to figure out, is it illegal what we saw on the James O'Keefe tapes for a candidate to be associating with a super PAC at this level?
Well, if you believe that the statement on the tape is literally true,
Yeah.
let me give you a little bit of backup. It is unlawful for them to communicate in such a way that the candidate can direct or coordinate with the PAC. But if the PAC learns what the candidate wants through some indirect way, or assumes what the candidate wants, or makes political ads, this is our crazy law today, consistent with the candidate's ads, then there's no problem. I don't know if this character on the tape who said, here's what the future president wants, personally knew that's what she wants, or somehow gleaned it. But the idea of sending out people dressed as Donald Duck is so harmless in this nasty campaign. If she sent out people to disrupt the campaign, to threaten him, to shut it down, as somebody did in Chicago, that's a very serious issue. But sending out people dressed as Donald Duck, I thought was cute.
Well, no, but part of the James O'Keefe tape also revealed that the Duck's task was to also aggravate Trump supporters enough that maybe they would punch the Duck. So that's a little bit of a disruption because you could see on tape the Duck like jumping in front of signs and things. But to your point about caution here, there's a possibility that these folks on this tape are all blowing smoke. I mean, there's a possibility this Robert Creamer guy is telling this person that, and he's just kind of bragging like that's, oh yeah, it's the candidate's idea.
Let me put it this way: this would certainly not be enough evidence to convict. What is it? It's part of the political mix. If you like Hillary, you're going to discount the tape. If you dislike Hillary, you're going to say, "Aha! Look at what this guy said." O'Keefe is sometimes courageous and he's sometimes manipulative. I mean, he's been convicted of trespass, but he's also saved people, like the kid that revealed the existence of a plot to sell aborted fetuses. So I really don't know how accurate these tapes are. I thought that Creamer's comment, "This is what the candidate wants," cannot be interpreted literally.
Right.
And again, this is the type of negative stuff about Hillary which is not sticking, just like a lot of the email stuff did not stick. I suspect because there's overload of it and because the negative stuff about Trump is more salacious.
Well, it's sticking somewhere because with 3,500 people at her rally and 20,000 at Trump's, something's sticking. But it might be positive sticking to Donald Trump. I mean, I think what's happening is the media and its adjacent pundits who have declared the race over. Whatever their intentions might be, it's having the opposite effect. I think it's actually lathering up the supporters and giving people more enthusiasm, not less.
Could very well be.
Yeah.
Could very well be.
Can I ask?
All the polls are showing her rising and him sinking, but there could be a reaction to that. You're right.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm looking at the IBD poll, and I'm looking at the LA Times tracking poll, and it shows them pretty much a dead heat, if not him up one. So I don't know. I don't see those. Some polls are showing that, and some polls are not. Hey,
those two polls are misleading. Not that they're inaccurate, they're misleading because you have to look at the battleground states. His path to 270, no matter how he's doing in the popular vote, is very, 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 very narrow, particularly with her and he in a dead heat in Texas, which is unheard of since Jimmy Carter and Gerald Ford in 1976. I'm not saying this because I want him to win or I want her to win. I haven't stated publicly who I want to win, though, of course, I've been an attack dog on her, a self-acknowledged attack dog on her legal issues. But his path to 270 is that's the number of electoral votes needed to be declared president is exceedingly narrow. Could
Well-
he pull it off? Yes, of course he can, but it gets narrower every day.
Yeah, I will tell you, although I'm not going to try to muscle you here, Judge, because you, after all, are Judge Napolitano, but I have interviewed you before, and I certainly can't imagine how you could support Hillary Clinton, who you yourself have said on my show that you have counted 5 times where she lied to federal authorities. So
Absolutely.
Can't imagine you.
We haven't even gotten to abortion. I mean, last week I was critical of Cardinal Dolan for sitting next to her and inviting her to the Al Smith dinner. This is a woman that wants to rip babies from the womb in the 9th month.
It's her
And
make
have the government pay for it.
Yeah, it's her Make Abortion Great Again campaign.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, I want to...
Listen, the reason I'm happy is because there's only 2 more weeks of this horror show.
Isn't Cardinal Dolan, though? I mean, I got to tell you, I guess he's got to be. If you're in that cosmopolitan area...
I think you're probably right.
I guess he's got to do that.
He can't treat this huge fundraiser. They raised $6 million, and it all goes to charitable causes.
Yeah.
And this historic dinner, this was the 71st annual Al Smith dinner, which I was present last week. You can't treat this like a theologian.
Right. Well, we got a chance.
I understand that, but my traditionalist friends, of which I have many, have been silently below the radar screen critical.
I'm sure. Judge Napolitano, always a blessing to have you on the show at Judge Nap, judgenap.com. Thank you, my friend.
All the best, Jamie. Until next week.
Yes, indeed.
Hello, Brian.